Welcome, everyone, to episode number 4 of Take the Lead. I'm your host, William Kliske.
And I'm John O'Halloran.
And we have a special guest today.
I am Brad from BB&J Sports.
And if you're watching the video, if you're just listening to the audio, just ignore that pause because I have to transfer mics with Brad because we do not have a 4-port recorder at the moment. So anyways, on this episode, we're going to discuss week 2 and all the injuries that have happened to various teams and how detrimental potentially they could be. And John, just start us off with your Eagles.
Oh, boy. Last night's game was absolutely terrible. They lost Alshon Jeffrey for the game. Deshaun Jackson, Tim Jernigan broke his foot. Carson Wentz played terrible yesterday. He had 231 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Like I said, the Eagles secondary is absolutely terrible. Let Julio Jones wide open. I probably could bust through that secondary. That's how bad it is. But I'm not. I'm not giving up yet. It's only week 2, but they just got to step it up more because their games on the schedule coming up are pretty tough.
Yeah. Sorry, John. Things aren't looking so hot for your team right now.
It's okay. They're still winning the Super Bowl.
So, Brad, we all know, or John and I know, that you are not a Patriots fan either. So, why don't you tell everyone about your team from week 2?
So if you're watching this video, you can see I'm repping my Colts hat because my Colts, they're my team. They've always been my team. All you Patriot fans out there, Peyton Manning over Tom Brady, y'all can say what you want, whatever. But, the Colts right now, we're looking pretty good without Andrew Luck. We're sitting at 1-1, and our one loss was in overtime. A lot better than a lot of people thought. We won 19-17 against the Titans. Right now, we're tied for first in the South. So I'd say it was a pretty good game. Jacoby Brissett had a solid game. Our O-line, the biggest question mark we have right now, which wasn't a question mark before the season started, was our kicker. The GOAT, highest scoring player of all time, Adam Vinatieri. He cannot hit the broadside of a barn. I don't know what it is. Missing PATs, missing field goals. He couldn't kick a field goal to save his life if it depended on it. So it's really going to be interesting. The Colts are saying that he's our kicker. We trust him. I really don't know what's going on forward.
So what do you think the future of Vinatieri is? I know the Colts said that they're still going to be his kicker, or he's still going to be their kicker. Do you think this is going to be his final season, or do you think if he gets into a groove later in the season that he plays longer?
I trust him. At the end of the day, I trust the Colts. I trust Chris Ballard, Frank Reich, everyone in the Colts organization. And to be honest, I trust Vinatieri. And, all the Patriots fans watching this, listening to this, y'all have to trust Vinatieri, too. He won you guys multiple Super Bowls. It's one of the players that, Colts fans and Patriots fans can agree on that they just can't hate. He's a great player, a genuine player. And I think if he starts picking it up, we keep him on. I could see him, I want to see him play at least 50. I don't know if it'll happen, but in order for that to happen, he needs to start kicking. He needs to start kicking field goals and being accurate. If not, we're going to have to figure out what happens. Maybe Pat McAfee comes out of retirement and starts kicking balls for us.
Wasn't McAfee a punter? Or did he kick at all?
He was a punter, but some of the best kickers were also punters. Just remember that.
Put that one down in the quotes books. Greatest quotes in history. The greatest kickers were also punters. Or punters were made great kickers or whatever. Because I forgot exactly what you said. I knew what you meant. I just forgot the exact words. So moving on, my Patriots dominated once again. Then again, they were facing Miami. However, never did so well in Miami. Well, that all changed this past weekend when New England lit them up for 43 points and allowed 0.
And I did say last podcast, don't count the Dolphins out. Because Tom Brady was 7-10 in Miami, and I guess there's 43 reasons why I was wrong. So, yeah.
Hey, the Dolphins did do good in the first half, holding New England to 16.
So I'm not going to lie. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings watching the game, and the first half, I was sitting there, and I'm like, you know what? Miami has to count this as a win right now. They're only down 17 points. And if you watch the Miami Miracle last year, you thought anything could happen. So I was sitting there and I'm like, you know what? 17-0. And, I kind of agree with John. You can't really count the Dolphins out. But then the second half, the Patriots came out of that locker room and they're like, wow, we're so much better than 17 points. And it's just, they just, a fire lit up on their ass and they were just like, let's go.
Yeah, and that's when the defense stepped in too with the 2 straight pick sixes on consecutive drives.
If you played the Patriots defense in fantasy and you didn't win this week, something's wrong with
you need
your
a better
lineup.
team.
Something's wrong with the lineup because in most leagues they scored over 30 points.
Yeah, and our league they scored 40.
Something
on
like
the,
that.
I think it was 40 on the dot. I think that last interception bumped them up to 40. But, it's crazy. So, John, out of any other game that happened for week 2, what stood out for you?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, well,
There's
Brad.
only 2 games I really cared about, and one was the Patriots and Dolphins, the other was the Eagles, but I don't want to talk about that anymore.
Okay, so I do want to talk about Gardner Minshew for a little bit, mainly just because he took over for Nick Foles in a Jacksonville team that has been on the decline since they made it to the AFC Championship a number of years ago. But I think he held his own a little bit, only lost by 1 point on a failed 2-point conversion, and Brad's tensing up.
I am tensing up because I got a lot to say. So one of my co-hosts on BB&J Sports, before the season, shout out to Bobby. He said Jacksonville goes 13-3.
Speaking of Bobby, he's my twin.
They're twins. One of them has a brain. He's right here. The other one doesn't.
Not Bobby.
Not Bobby. He said Jacksonville goes 13-3. We're like, what are you smoking? What are you doing? You could not be more wrong. You talk about bold takes. That was his bold take. And he still says there's a chance because right now they're 0-2. They haven't gotten more than 3 losses yet. But they got a steep climb to get the 13 wins. And he said his boy Gardner Minshew is going to lead them there. And it's just what is everything's wrong with Jacksonville. Why? I mean, I get, bold move going for the win and not the tie. Not even the tie, going to overtime. You should trust your team enough and, trust your quarterback. Trust Minshew. That's what you should have done. Kicked the extra point, brought it to overtime, trusted your defense, and if you got the ball, trust your offense to drive downfield and score. I think it was just a bad decision on all parts of Jacksonville. I blame the coaching staff 100% for that loss.
Yeah, I blame them too, but like you said, trusting Gardner Minshew, for overtime, they technically did that to try to get a 2-point conversion too. So it's just
But here's the thing, though. They did, but they didn't. To me, they trusted more Leonard Fournette.
True.
Than that O-line, because if you really trusted Gardner Minshew,
you would have went to overtime.
You would have went to overtime, and you would have done a little short pass or whatnot to get to the end zone. That showed that they're like, you know what, we're not banking on Gardner Minshew throwing the ball to our receivers. We're banking on Leonard Fournette running the ball down the Texans defense, which who to me have a very good front seven. So it's why take that risk of rushing it down and losing the game off of it? Yeah, I get that, if you made it, you'd win. But kick the points. Take the point. Go to overtime. Get one more shot. Trust your defense. Trust your offense. That's my take on it.
I actually thought about a game. Lamar Jackson's actually looking good. He's actually looking pretty good.
Not bad for a running back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a stat for Lamar Jackson. I think it was he was the first quarterback to throw for 250 passing yards and have 120 rushing yards in the same game. So, I mean, it's pretty solid.
Bold take, Lamar Jackson, the next Michael Vick.
Hopefully he doesn't have the same off the field tendencies
Yes.
as him.
Poor dogs.
So, moving on to other week 2 topics, there have been some pretty significant injuries for some pretty high-level teams that could potentially cost them for the season. So let's start off with the lesser of the serious ones. Michael Gallup, he's suffered a knee injury.
Just picked him up in fantasy.
Me too. On
RIP.
different leagues, apparently. And then he is going to be out for 2 to 4 weeks. And right now, I think he's their leading receiver. So, John, how much of an impact do you think this has to the Dallas Cowboys?
I think it'd be a pretty big one on him now. You just said he's one of the top receivers. Who do they have now for receivers? I don't even know.
Amari Cooper.
I forgot about him. That's right.
And also, our favorite sportscaster of all time, Jason Witten.
True. But he's like 600 years old, though, but he still can ball out. He still can ball out.
He's all reliable.
Yeah, that's true.
Greg Olson's like old Yeller, and Jason Witten's all reliable.
I think the Cowboys will be fine. They still got Ezekiel Elliott. They still got a quarterback, Dak Prescott, who was not better than Carson Wentz.
I mean, this year he's playing like
That's
it.
true.
This
That's
year he's
true.
playing like it. I think, when he finally gets his payday, he could be paid more than Carson Wentz.
I'm biased. I'm sorry.
Does he deserve it, though? It's the question. But, Gallup going down, it hurts the team a little bit, but it's really a time for these other receivers and these other weapons that Dak has to step up. I believe that offense is truly based around Zeke, not Dak, not the receivers. They'll still feed Zeke. They'll still throw Amari Cooper the ball. I think if that helps, I think it helps Jason Witten because, they're going from covering these receivers like Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup and whatnot. And who's Dak going to throw to now? Yeah, he still has Amari, but I think it's going to really help Witten out.
Yeah, and looking at the Cowboys' schedule for the next 4 weeks, I think they can manage without Michael Gallup because next week they're facing the almighty Dolphins.
Oh, the Dolphins take that. I think the Dolphins might finally score. That's my bold take is Dolphins score a touchdown next week.
They scored one in week 1.
They score 2 touchdowns next week.
And then they play the Saints, who don't have Drew Brees, who we're going to talk about next.
That's tough.
Then they play the Packers, who haven't been looking the best.
What do you mean they're 2-0?
Yeah, but they won 10-3. Their defense is fine, but on offense, they haven't been producing that as many points.
Aaron Rodgers.
Both games were a touchdown or less difference.
I still trust Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I do too.
I
but
trust Devontae Adams, trust Aaron Jones. I trust almost everybody on that team, especially their defense.
Well, that one's going to be the closest of the 3 games so far of those next 3.
I think so.
And then they're playing the Jets, who that's week 6, and that's their. I don't know if they're going to have Darnold back then.
I mean, Gallup's out 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, so that's week 4.
That's the extent of it. I think he comes back, within 3 weeks. I think
I think so too.
I think he'll be playing the week of the Jets.
I think so too. I just was going 4 weeks as the highest thing.
Absolutely.
But he'll definitely be back before they play your Eagles in week 7.
Sounds great, John. As you can see, John loves.
Do that again, John, into the mic.
Are we talking about Ellinger now? We said Drew Brees. No more Eagles. Nope.
He doesn't want to talk about the Eagles.
Drew Brees. What's he on? Was it 6-9 weeks?
Drew Brees broke his thumb, out 6 to 8 weeks. Honestly, how it happened, it didn't look too bad. He threw the pass and he just hit Aaron Donald's hand, twisted his thumb the wrong way, went to pick up a football on the sideline and couldn't pick it up. On his throwing hand, so obviously that's an issue. I think the Saints could be in trouble. They have a solid backup in Bridgewater, but Bridgewater is not Drew Brees. I think they're going to rely heavily on Kamara for that run game. I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens. I think the NFC South is a crapshoot anyways. Every team is 1-1 right now. So I think if Brees is out, say for 6 weeks, and Bridgewater goes 500 in those games, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree. As long as Bridgewater can win half the games that Brees is out, I think they can still make the playoffs and have a decent run with Drew Brees at the helm.
Also, Drew Brees has started 15 games the last 15 seasons. So that's big.
That's significant. It's a big loss for them considering how healthy he's been. But speaking of someone who's not coming back this season, Big Ben, he is having right elbow surgery, and he's been put on the season-ending IR. And I think that's a big loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Can you believe it? Just a couple of years ago, the Steelers had Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown.
Yeah, what happened? Now they have 0 of them.
Now they pretty much have one person, and that was none of the above, and that's Juju Smith-Schuster. I think the only winner to come out of Roethlisberger being hurt, there's 2. There's Mason Rudolph, who can finally play, and the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're the big winner of Roethlisberger getting hurt. Honestly, I picked the Steelers winning that division beginning of the year. I'm just going to say I was wrong. I could not be more wrong. Lamar Jackson, he's stepping it up. They're 2-0. I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing something good.
Yeah, I was pretty wrong, too, because I picked the Browns.
And he's just wrong. If you actually believe the hype of the Browns.
I believe to the hype in the Browns.
It's the Browns. At the end of the day, I don't care if they have OBJ, they have Baker. They could have Tom Brady, and I still want to pick them because it's the Browns.
That's a hot take right there.
Hot take.
Thought Bobby was the hot taker on your podcast.
13-3. Shout out Bobby, you're 13-3 Jags. They're gonna finish last in the South. Colts are winning in the South.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see the Jags winning. But
I do think one problem though that Steelers have is not only just Roethlisberger, but James Conner also went down and had an MRI done. He says there's no severe damage, but a player saying no severe damage and a doctor saying no severe damage are 2 different things. So I think it's really going to be hurting them if they lose James Conner and Roethlisberger. It's going to be really interesting.
What is that?
Jets. I'll read it since John's pro. We're watching ESPN right now, and Jets team report saying that Le'Veon Bell had trouble sleeping after Wednesday's practice with a sore shoulder. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're recording right before the Monday night game. And this actually perfect, literally next on our list. We're talking about the Jets and the Browns Monday night game and what we think's going to happen, who we think's going to win. So, Brad, as our guest, we'll have you start. Tell us what you think is going to happen and who you think's going to win on Monday Night Football.
So, bold take. I don't care that Sam Darnold's not playing. The Jets are still winning this game. What people forget, Trevor Siemian used to be a starting quarterback. He used to be a solid starting quarterback. And one thing that people keep forgetting, too, is the Jets just acquired Demaryius Thomas, who used to play for the Broncos, and Trevor Siemian also played for the Broncos. They already have that chemistry. My take, I think Demaryius Thomas scores a touchdown tonight. I have the Jets winning the game. I don't trust the Browns. I don't trust Baker. OBJ talks way too much. Jarvis Landry, I think he's overrated. Jets this game.
So, do you have a score?
Yeah, it's probably important.
Well, we don't always do scores, so it's
No,
kind of curious since this is the only game we're talking about.
I'm gonna go probably 20-14 Jets.
All right, so a close game. I have the Browns winning because, yeah, they disappointed in week 1, I think. Even with all the hype, I feel like they still have something to prove. And with a team that doesn't have their number 1 QB, I think it's a perfect opportunity to show them that they can win when it counts, so they don't start the season 0-2. But knowing Cleveland, they'll probably brown it up and lose. But fingers crossed that doesn't happen. And now, John, what do you think?
I'm actually going to go with Cleveland. I think the chemistry is going to finally start to kick in for them. Baker Mayfield, in my opinion, is really not that bad of a quarterback. I think Odell's going to step up tonight. Same with Landry. I'm going to take the Browns 27-24.
All right. Well, do you have anything else you want to talk about, Brad? Anything else that comes to mind?
Not really off the top of my head. My big thing is that I'd say week 2 was really interesting. You had some great matchups. I think the biggest one that we really didn't touch much on was the rematch of the NFC Championship. The Rams came out on top again. Part of it because I think Brees got hurt. We're now 2 games into a 16-week season. I think some teams are all worried about being 0-2. Some teams are on their high horse being 2-0. I just think it's really going to be interesting to come down, later on the season, looking back. There could still be some teams right now that are 0-2 that make the playoffs, some teams that are 2-0 and don't make the playoffs. So it'll be really interesting come towards the end of the season.
Actually, what about the Antonio Brown stories that keep coming out?
So, if you have not heard, we all know about these allegations, Antonio Brown and his former trainer and whatnot. And, he played on Sunday. He played very well on Sunday with his debut. But now there's a lot more stuff going on. Apparently, he doesn't pay his bills when it comes to his trainers. They said he stiffed charities on paying bills. And, the funniest thing that I heard was he had a doctor's appointment and was getting an exam and farted in the doctor's face and just laughed about it. And the doctor was not pleased, and the doctor said, "You still owe me $11,000."
I'm still curious on what this doctor's appointment was for him to be able to do that.
There's doctor's appointments like that, Billy.
I know.
Once you hit a certain age, it's recommended.
Yeah, but is he even at that age? Yeah, he's pretty old.
I mean, he's older, but also too, when you're getting, examined and you're an athlete, you're trying to recover all these muscles, trying to see if anything's wrong.
Yeah, true. I'm not an athlete, so I don't know these things.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know why, but that man is weird. He's just weird. If you're doing. I'm not saying he did, but if you did those things to those women, that's weird. That's more weird. If you're farting in your doctor's face and laughing about it,
that's even weirder.
That's even weirder. You're just a weird dude.
So he was probably just sitting there. It's like, you know what? I got a nasty fart coming. I'm just going to let it go in this guy's face and see how it feels.
Who see how he reacts?
Who thinks about that? I got a fart coming. Hey, doc.
My whole thing is not even apologizing.
He's laughing
at it. Just laughing at it. Just be like, I'm so funny. Are you 5? Or are you 30?
That's literally
grow up.
It's literally what a 5-year-old would do. They'd fart in the room, laugh, and leave.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's I know there was one point where you were playing in the jersey number 1. You're not 1 years old. Grow up. Granted, I don't like you because you play for the Patriots. Everyone in the NFL hates you, but grow up.
Yeah. So, Brad. So I'm looking at the current NFL standings.
Yep.
And I'm going to read you the list of every team that is still undefeated. And I want you to tell me who you think will miss the playoffs out of these undefeated teams so far. So far in the AFC, we have the Ravens.
I think the Ravens make the playoffs.
The Chiefs.
Chiefs definitely make the playoffs.
The Patriots.
Yeah, Pats make the playoffs.
And the Bills.
Bills, if they make the playoffs, they sneak in as a 6-seed wild card.
Okay, so in the NFC, there's more, surprisingly.
I know there's a sneaky team, and I know the NFC West is really interesting because 3 of them are 2-0.
Yeah, so we got the Packers.
Packers win the division. They make playoffs.
The Seahawks.
Seahawks are good. I don't know if they make the playoffs because the NFC is so much tougher than the AFC. There's always in the AFC you always have, say 7 to 8 teams. In the NFC, you have a good 10 teams that can always compete.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd say Seattle makes the playoffs.
Let's see, 49ers.
I would like to see the Niners make the playoffs.
I would too.
They're kind of my NFC team.
The George Kittle helmet.
George Kittle helmet sitting right there on that table. I would like to see him make the playoffs, but I don't think they do.
And the Rams for the West.
The Rams do make the playoffs. Rams win that division.
And the Cowboys?
I don't want the Cowboys to make the playoffs. You can tell John doesn't want the Cowboys to make the playoffs. He's all about the
Eagles.
But Carson Wentz, not a good quarterback. Bold statement: Dak over Wentz. No, I really don't think so.
I think they're close.
I do think they're close. But yeah, Eagles make the playoffs.
All right. So now we're gonna get John's takes. I'm gonna read him the list of every team that's 0-2. And I want to see if he thinks any of them could potentially make the playoffs or sneak in. So we're going to start in the NFC. We got the Panthers.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Cam Newton's just He's stinking right now. No touchdown passes. All right, so this team's not 0-2, but they also don't have a win. The Arizona Cardinals.
No, I don't think the Cardinals are just there yet. Next couple of years, they will be.
Yeah, Kyler Murray's still getting his groove on.
He'll be a good I think he'll be a good quarterback. He's actually showing signs of it so far.
Yeah, the Redskins.
Nope, trash.
The Giants.
They put
You can say the same thing.
If they put Daniel Jones in, they're going to win 14 straight games. Just kidding.
The Jaguars.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
13-3.
For Bobby, yes, 13-3 just for Bobby. They're making the playoffs.
The Steelers.
After all the Big Ben injury, I don't think so.
I agree. The Bengals.
Nope, Bengals are going to be one of the worst teams this year. Andy Dalton, garbage.
The Broncos.
Nope.
And the Dolphins.
Yeah, pass. Yeah, we're done. You guys already know what I'm going to say, so.
So I purposely left off the Jets and the Browns. They're both 0-1, but they haven't played their game yet. They're actually about to start in a number of moments. So
Jets will be a wild card team.
you think so?
Yep. They're gonna be.
I have them as a 6 seed.
I think that
on our podcast we did picks right before the season started, and I said the 6 seed team is either going to be the Jets or the Bills.
people are sleeping on both teams.
Both teams, absolutely. Like I said, I picked the Jets to win tonight. I could see them making the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. But the way the Bills are performing as well, I think the Bills might sneak in over the Jets.
It's
going to
come down. It's definitely going to come down to divisional record.
Yes.
The Bills beat the Jets last week in Week 1. So what's super important is the Jets will have to beat the Bills next time they play each other.
I'm going to figure out when that is real quick. Take a guess. What week do they play each other?
I'm going to go Week 17.
Week 10.
I don't know why I asked. There's just really random. Hold on, games.
Well, it is a divisional game, and yeah, I'm gonna say they played Week 1, so I'm gonna say Week 17 to close it out.
Good work, Brad. It's week 17, Jets Bills.
Start the season with an L, end the season with an L.
So, what do you think their final record's gonna be?
The Jets
and the Bills.
You know what? I think one of them. I'd probably gonna say 9-7. I think 9-7 is good enough for the 6th seed in the AFC. NFC is a whole different story.
Yeah.
9-7 in the AFC gets you that 6th seed wild card. So I say one team's gonna go 9-7, the other team's gonna go 8-8.
So it's gonna be close. It's good. So do you have them going into week 17 with the same record?
I would love to see that happen. I would love to see, the wild card game
8-7, 8-7.
go down to go in as they start 8-7, 8-7, and to see it come down to, out of all the teams, the Jets and the Bills, like it'd be pretty interesting because nobody would see it coming.
Want to know what I think would be interesting? That would be a complete long shot. Imagine if
the Dolphins win their next 14 games. I can only imagine.
No. No, imagine one team going in 8-6 and one team going 8-5. No, 9-5 and 8-6, and then let's say the Jets win and they both become 9-7 or 9-6. 9-7.
You know what?
Then they split the games too.
Then it has to come down to divisional record. How did they play against Miami? I have them both sweeping Miami.
Yeah. And then
how did it come down to the Patriots? I still say the Patriots, they always lose a dumb game every year.
Yeah,
and it always happens to be in division. They always go 5-1 in division.
And it's usually in Miami.
It's usually Miami.
But we didn't do it. We didn't mess up this time. Woo!
I think either the Jets or the Bills are going to beat them. I don't know which team, but I think it's going to come down to that. And then it'll come strength of schedule.
Yeah. So I'm going to switch sports for a moment. Do you watch basketball, Brad? Oh, I'll get there. Brad, do you watch basketball?
I do watch basketball.
LeBron James is the GOAT.
All right, so just a quick start. Which team's the better team in LA?
Lakers. because we've got AD and LeBron on the same team.
So best team in LA. You have the Lakers over the Clippers.
Yep, just because AD and LeBron James, even though LeBron James is 34 years old and he's still balling like he's young, so Lakers.
He also missed a bunch of games last year and almost had a losing record when he was on the court.
My whole thing is I think the Clippers have a better pair of players. I have Kawhi and Paul George over LeBron and Anthony Davis. I think the Lakers have an overall better roster.
Who is the better coach?
I like the Clippers.
I'm going with Clippers too.
I like the Clippers.
I don't know who the Lakers coach is because they got rid of Luke Walton.
We all know it's LeBron James.
That's right.
LeBron's
James.
the coach.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Doc is the coach of the Clippers.
He's an NBA champion with the Celtics. Yeah, you gotta go with Doc.
Doc over LeBron.
Doc over LeBron. We heard it here.
Low key, Doc's a better player too. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa!
I'm
Hot
kidding.
take.
I'm kidding. There's only one player. There's only one player better than LeBron James all time, and that's Michael Jordan.
It's Brian Scalabrine. The White Mamba.
Okay. Hold on. Brian Scalabrine's on a whole nother level. We don't even need to count him because everyone knows he's the greatest.
Scal is the great.
It's literally like, you can't see this if you're watching or if you're listening to audio, but Scalabrine's like way up here, and then it's like cut that in half, and then it's like Michael Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, all these people.
So as you know, we like to make jokes, but Jordan is better than LeBron. That is not a joke.
That one's not a joke, but Scalabrine.
Scal is not up there.
He's just a fan favorite.
He's a fan favorite. He's a Boston, homer. We love him. But Jordan over LeBron.
John's shaking his head.
Nope. No.
John is also a Phillies fan, so you know what we think about Phillies fans. We don't listen.
He's not a Phillies fan. He's just an Eagles fan.
Philly as in Philadelphia Eagles. You know what? I'm going to throw this out there. Philadelphia Eagles fans are so classless, especially after what they did week 1, putting a Sean Taylor jersey on top of a coffin after he was murdered.
Hey, you know what? That's messed up. That's messed up.
Yeah, that's messed up.
I don't agree with that. I did not agree with that. They also threw snowballs at Santa. Eagles fans are vicious, and Will and I are trying.
You also support the same team as them.
Yeah, but I'm not them. I'm a whole different person. And Will and I go. It's pretty much set in stone. We're going to the Eagles and the Patriots, and I don't think I might be scared of my own people. I really might.
I'm not worried for you. I'm worried for this guy right here. If he goes in wearing a Patriots jersey or anything like that,
he would be in a coffin.
He may not come out. You may have to find a new roommate.
Probably. I got to put on Craigslist.
I literally have a low-key Patriots hat. It's solid black. The logo's solid black, and it's just outlined in red. And that's the only Patriots thing I'm wearing.
And just Eagles fans listening, you better be nice to him because, just be nice to him.
If he's a true Patriots fan, which he says he is, he's going to go decked out in a Tom Brady jersey, wear a hat that's shaped like a goat with a number 12 on the side, and he's going to go all out, and then he's just going to, everyone's going to hit him.
I got to find some custom TB12 shoes and socks as well. Just like, don't even rep Patriots, just everything's TB12 brand.
I'll say I don't know him.
We're just happen to be sitting next to each other from the same location. It's like, that's weird.
Yeah, but Eagles fans, there are some weird-ass people. I mean, I remember when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, the NFC Championship, a fan actually ate horse crap.
Why?
Because he's an Eagles fan. They're stupid.
Because they think it's funny, and it's not. Just like they think putting a Sean Taylor jersey in a coffin's funny, and it's not. It's classless.
And just like destroying your entire city when you win after the Super Bowl. Like, yes, I can understand if you're frustrated and lose, you get mad, you turn over cars and everything. But when you win, why?
And if Ronald Derby, if you're listening, get off the team now. Please get off the team. Julio Jones owned you yesterday.
Yeah, Julio Jones destroyed him. But anyways, moving back to basketball for a moment, since we got lost in that Philadelphia sidetrack. So, with teams showing more signs of having like 2 stars instead of super teams, which team in the East and the West do you think has the best two-man duo?
Ooh.
As much as I love the Celtics and everything about them, I don't think it's the Celtics. I love Kemba. I love Tatum. Basically, Team USA's basketball team was the Celtics. But we only finished 7th, worst finish of history. But to answer his question, I have to go with Philly. I think they have, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons. They're a great pairing. You also have a good core around them.
Yeah, and I saw Ben Simmons work on his jump shot this offseason. I saw a video where he made like 7 threes in a row. That was impressive for him.
He also doesn't have a hand in his face like he will in the game.
That's also very true.
Over under of 2 3-point shots made this season. I'm taking the under on that. He doesn't make any.
Oh, you're still okay.
He still doesn't make any.
Yeah. Do you think he'll take more than he did last season? I don't know.
He will try, but he will fail.
So, John, and we'll take it to the West since Brad covered the East. Who do you think is the best two-man duo in the West when healthy?
Your answer is going to be wrong.
My answer?
Your answer is going to be wrong. I didn't know who you were going to say.
Who?
He's thinking the Lakers, but we all know it's the Clippers.
No, I was going to
Keep
say
in mind that I said when healthy.
James Harden and Russell Westbrook.
Is the most overrated pair in the West.
No, I think they're going to do good.
So Westbrook is the most self-centered player in the NBA. He'll just throw up shot after shot after shot. He'll purposely miss shots to get his own rebound to stack his stats for a triple-double. Yes. And
I know.
You know. And Harden doesn't hit clutch. He hits some clutch shots, but you cannot tell me that Westbrook and Harden.
All right, Paul George and Kyrie Leonard.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Kawhi and PG.
Because the reason I emphasize the when healthy is because I still think it's Curry and Thompson.
You know what? I like it. I think they're the best pair of pure shooters, not only in the West, but in the NBA.
Yes.
But I still think that the defense that the Clippers bring with Paul George and Kawhi, to me, defense is one of the most important parts of basketball over shots. Because you have a good defense, you can feed the ball to other people. You can find your shot. Yeah, Curry can sit there, basically at half court and throw up threes
all day long.
But that's what he does. He just sits there and shoots.
But they go in.
They go in, but he doesn't have to make the shots. Good players like Kawhi and Paul George, they'll find the shots.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just still think that Curry and Thompson, they're just like such a clutch duo. It's very hard to even consider double teaming.
So do you still have them coming out of the West as an early favorite?
I don't know if I have them coming out of the West because they also do not have AD or DeMarcus Cousins anymore. So there's just like the surrounding pieces. I can still think they're the best duo, but if you don't have a solid team all around,
they have Draymond.
Comparison, yeah, they have Draymond, but I have them at least going to the second round of the playoffs, and maybe the conference finals.
I could see them going to the conference finals. Obviously, I don't want them to because they've been to the final year after year after year, and it gets boring just watching Curry just sit back and basically practice his throws with nobody around him.
Yeah,
but I would like to see it. I want to see the Clippers go to the championship.
Yeah, my very early predictions for the NBA Finals is going to be Clippers-Bucks.
Bucks again.
Clippers-Bucks.
I have the Clippers and the 76ers. I think 76ers have one of the most complete rosters in the NBA.
I'm going with the greatest player of all time.
Michael Jordan retired,
It's going to be Lakers, Sixers.
So the reason I don't have the Sixers in there is just because they just have too many big men. I think they didn't need the addition of Al Horford for their team. I think he's a veteran and will help Joel Embiid probably a lot. But I don't know. I feel like if Horford comes in and Embiid comes out and lowers his minutes, Embiid might feel a certain way. And I feel like there could be a little bit of underwritten tension with all the big men on the roster.
So one thing that we do have to remember, though, is there was a time where Al Horford didn't play center. He did play the 4. He did play power forward. So I think they'll be totally fine with their big man. They'll have Al Horford and Joel Embiid both on the court.
But they also don't have Jimmy Butler anymore either.
You know what? They don't have Jimmy Butler, but where they don't have Jimmy Butler, I think they make up in the addition of defense.
Or J.J. Redick.
They make up in the addition of defense from Al Horford.
Yeah, Horford's a great defender. He's a big loss for the Celtics. One of the reasons why I don't have them in the finals.
We got a Nez Cantor, though.
Yeah.
And more importantly, Kemba Walker.
Former 24/7 champion in the WWE, Enes Kanter.
I'm not a wrestling guy, so no idea what he's talking about.
All right, so in the WWE, they have a championship called the 24/7 title. It can be defended anywhere, anytime, as long as you have a referee. So this past week or last week on Raw, before Raw started, they taped Main Event. So during Main Event, they brought out Enes Kanter because they were at Madison Square Garden. So he comes out in a jumpsuit of all blue because he used to be on the Knicks. And R-Truth was there too. And he basically shoved R-Truth to the ground, and R-Truth banged his head on the mat, so he was down and out. Enes Kanter pinned him for the 3 count, became the 24/7 champion, and then he unzipped his jumpsuit top to reveal his Celtics jersey, in which he took Kyrie Irving's number 11.
That's my boy. Not Kyrie. Enes Kanter is my boy.
Yeah, John last season bought a $250 Kyrie Irving jersey. Cause John, tell your story real quick.
Hold on. I messed up. Because my first one.
$250?
Hold on. No. Well, it was combined with something else. My brother was like, "Can you get me a Celtics shirt? I'll pay you back." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, dude." So I got him the shirt. I fucking grabbed the jersey, don't even look at it. And the guy's like, "Yeah, it's going to be $250. And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. I'm just going to pay for this." So I go to Will. I'm like, "Well, how much was your jersey?"
It was like 100.
I was like, "All right, so why the hell is mine come up to this?" It's a fucking on-court jersey, stitched and everything. I'm like, "Well, I'm not bringing this back. Might as well keep it," because I thought Kyrie was going to re-sign and stay. But
all of Boston did except me, because I know he's a liar.
Yeah, so John, we're just going to have to remove the Irving off the back and put Kanter, if that's cool with you. We'll have to figure out a way.
I took a sewing class in middle school.
Oh.
I could probably, unstitch
You can do it for you.
Stitch on, K-A-N-T-E-R.
How much? For how much?
That's how you spell Kanter, right?
Yeah.
K-A-N-T-E-R? Yeah.
For how much?
I cannot sew, so I wouldn't trust me
damn
with
it.
needle and thread.
Because I'm going to pay you for it.
How about $250?
Deal.
Just give me the jersey at that point.
Now I have to put this podcast as explicit. Thank you, John.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's just this one episode's going to have an E next to it. But, yeah, so I think that's all we really have for our podcast this week. If you enjoyed, subscribe on Anchor and Spotify. It's submitted for review on iTunes, so hopefully it's up there soon. And, John, where can they find you?
My Instagram is John O'Halloran 15, and my Twitter's _John_Halloran.
Brad, where can they find you?
They can find me pretty much on any platform, including Xbox Live, where I'll clap anybody in Madden. It's B Harmon, Harmon 58, and I'm dead serious about that Madden challenge. And also, don't forget to subscribe to BB&J Sports. We post episodes twice a week. Right now, NFL recap, NFL previews, everything that you can think of. We post there too, Anchor and Spotify, just like he said.
Yeah, it's a lot more informative than our podcast. We just kind of we just like talking about it here, but on their podcast,
we dive deep.
They dive deep. I listen to their podcast whenever they name a defensive player on a team I don't follow. I'm like, who the heck is that?
We went over we were talking about the Packers game, and we said who's going to be, the secret sleeper to bring them to a win. And, some people had no idea who we're talking about. But definitely give us a follow. Also, we like to get your guys' input, too, on BB&J Sports. We like to hear what our viewers want to hear us talk about. Again, follow me on social media, bharmon58. Slide in the DMs, hit me up, do whatever. Let me know what you want to hear us talk about. And we're always looking for guests on our episode, too. Bill, he's been on there once. John will probably come up on an episode soon.
Bobby, what's going on?
When Bobby lets him. Maybe when the Jacks go 13-3.
Well, You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at William Kliski. You can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram as well whenever we decide to start posting at TTL Pod. And until next time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Brad.